Alright, today we're going to look at the secret stash spot that's hidden on your Tenere 700. So when you pop the side panel of this baby, she's got a decent amount of room under there, really not being utilized. So it's really the perfect spot for storing some spare parts or tools that you really don't need to access too often. And number one thing I like to carry on my bike that I don't really need to access too often unless emergencies, a spare tube. I've actually been riding with this setup for 2 years now, and about a year after doing this mod, I got my first trail flat, and the tube was safe and sound and ready to use. So I can say that it is a viable solution and not some clickbait idea that doesn't work in the real world. And with that being said, I can say that the modifications we're going to go over today in this video are not going to damage anything in your bike. Alright, so let's get started on that spare tube storage spot. Alright, first we're going to pop the seat and remove a couple screws underneath. We've got the side handles, side panel, all those screws, and then a couple under here, and then you'll be able to flip it up. Alright, so the main components under here that we'll need to relocate to free up some room are the relay unit on the outside of the frame, the radiator fan motor relay attached to the side of the airbox. I think the trickiest thing about this is moving the radiator fan motor relay. So instead of riding on the outside of the frame on this little tab, we're going to flip it around and make it ride on the inside of these frame rails. Then we're going to take this wiring harness and route it so that way it's inside the frame rail. And like I said, I did this modification about 2 years ago, so I can't remember exactly how I rerouted the wiring harness. I would say just use your best judgment. I like to store a front tube, and I basically fold it in half, fold it in again, wrapped it in a plastic bag, then wrapped the whole thing in duct tape. I felt like the duct tape added a protective layer rather than just having it in a plastic bag. In this way, it protects the tube from any kind of wear and tear while it's rubbing against the frame rail while riding off-road. And the shape itself fits in there really nicely. I'd say it's a pretty snug fit, so you might have to press on the side a bit to get those screws underneath lined up. Alright, button her all back up and you're ready to go. Thanks for watching. Alright, now some people might say, hey, you're going to damage the radiator fan relay this way, or it's going to be a pain in the ass to take apart your entire bike in order to change your flat tire. Leave a comment down below and tell me I'm nuts.